Hi, this is Dave Depew with another episode of Thirsty Thursdays, and I'm here with...
Hi everyone, my name is Vaki, I'll be your bartender today.
And I'm Itai. I'm his friend.
All right, very cool. Today we're trying another spirit, and this one is...
So today we're going to be doing absinthe, and we're going to be doing it 3 ways. The last way takes a while to prepare, so I'll do more explanation on what absinthe is while the third one is preparing.
Yep.
First, however, we're just going to have a taste of the spirit by itself, which has a quite a strong flavor, which is why it's often combined or diluted with other stuff. But I'll just pour the teeniest bit for each of us.
Nice.
And you'll see it's one of its nicknames is the Green Fairy.
Okay.
And if you notice the green color,
Yep.
that's the reason.
Well, it's all. I think the fairy part is also because of the rumors that it gets you to trip.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it. It's on the list.
I actually have not verified the historical origins of the nickname the Green Fairy, but it is. All right, so you'll probably taste like black licorice and a little bit of bitter flavor.
All right, salute.
Salud.
Yeah, licorice for sure.
Yeah,
That's so much better than the one that I've had in the past.
yeah, this one is pretty good. So funny enough, this one is a lower proof absinthe. It's only 55% alcohol, and they go up to 74% alcohol.
Okay.
This one, I didn't necessarily buy it because of that. This is the first absinthe I ever tried. This particular kind of absinthe.
So, like Arak and Ouzo also have this licorice taste, right?
Yeah.
But this one, like, basically Arak and Ouzo taste almost exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
This one does taste different. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It has like a different thing to it that I did not expect. I expected it to take almost exactly like those other.
Yeah. So the kind of bitterer, earthier taste is the wormwood, which is actually the thing from which absinthe derives its name.
Right.
So absinthe comes from the Greek word absinthion, which is Greek for wormwood. It's ancient Greek for wormwood, and that is one of the key ingredients here.
This
Now-
is Greek.
Well, it originated in Switzerland, and it was popularized in France. But the word is Greek in origin. I'm going to get the champagne. So we're
For sure.
Okay, yeah, grab a champagne.
You should try more of this. Have you had Ouzo before?
No.
So Ouzo and Arak are different Greek and Israeli liquors that taste a lot like licorice, but they are much, much more solely licorice, at least the ones that I've had, than this. This has like another flavor in there, which is why I wanted another sip, because I did not expect it. I expected another, basically just licorice flavor.
Yeah. So, what can you tell me about the? You know, you were talking a little bit about the origins. I guess the one thing that a lot of people talk about, or are surprised to hear about, is that absinthe is legal, because I guess for some time it was illegal.
Yeah, actually. Oh, okay, you're gonna help me. So that is one of the central stories for absinthe. That I'm gonna wait for just a little bit until I tell you that story.
Okay.
We're gonna wait until this one is being prepared.
Okay, gotcha.
However, I will start to tell you about this absinthe the second way we're gonna have it. So there are lots of cocktails that have absinthe as an ingredient, but it tends not to be a main ingredient. It tends to be like you could say an additive. Like it'll either you'll put little tiny bits of absinthe, or you will rinse a glass with absinthe. But it's rare that absinthe will actually be a main ingredient. In cocktail.
Okay.
This bottle opener for him. This is a cocktail that is called the Death in the Afternoon.
Yes.
And
remember you
this
telling
is
me
a
about
cocktail that, well, it's named after an Ernest Hemingway book. And in fact, Ernest Hemingway is the one who invented this cocktail.
Yeah. I heard he was a huge fan of absinthe.
A huge fan,
Yeah.
yes. He was a very heavy drinker and a very big fan of absinthe.
He was a drunk. That's what they're saying. He was a drunk.
That is correct. And this cocktail is fairly absurd, I have to say. It's only 2 ingredients, absinthe and champagne. And I'm not going to make any of this a full
How does this open?
a full death in the afternoon, so you just have to pull it.
Oh, come on.
They're not gonna make us a full death in the afternoon because like they're extremely alcoholic and I have to drive.
Oh yeah.
So I'll make
You can make mine a little bigger.
I'll
Yeah.
make yours a heavy
I'll be here till
Actually, you know
late
what?
tonight.
I'll make you a full one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's perfect. I can split half a shot for the two of us. Sure. And I'll do a full shot. So this is good because I can show on yours what the actual recipe is.
Sounds good.
Per Ernest Hemingway's instructions, it's an entire shot of absinthe.
Wow.
And the rest of the
I
glass.
just had that little bit, and I felt it.
And you
That's
felt
good.
it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then, smell, nice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yummy. You want to smell? And then the rest of the glass with champagne.
That's not crazy.
So the crazy thing.
The color too.
So this is
Yeah,
the fun part.
that's pretty. I got to try to get that on
So
the camera
that
there. Like,
kind of
pretty.
opalescent thing that happens
Yeah.
is called the loche of the absinthe, and the reason is that this has aniseed in it, and the oils from the aniseed they form a suspension in the liquid, and when you put in or change the temperature, if you change the temperature or put in other liquids, they come out of suspension and become cloudy like this.
Yeah,
So-
this is the big thing in the ouzo.
Yeah. This is what happens with ouzo too. So the you may say just like as a single drink, it's not actually insanely alcoholic, but in the bar book where this recipe was made,
Wait, do half of them and half of them.
yeah, that's what I do.
No, I thought you were gonna do it all in here and then split.
No. Okay. So the funny thing is in Ernest Hemingway's cocktail book where he wrote the recipe for this, you can pour yours.
Yeah.
He instructed the drinker to, quote, drink 3 to 5 of these slowly. So you're going to drink all of that, and then you're going to see how you feel, and then you're going to imagine drinking 5.
3 to 5 of those.
Yeah.
Well.
So
Yeah.
he was a serious drinker.
Yeah.
All right, this is a
I'm quite the amateur,
death in the afternoon. Cheers.
novice, if you will. 7.
That's real nice.
It's a wacky flavor. Pretty cool though.
Oh,
all
wow,
of my
you,
beard.
You downed it.
Oh my, that's hilarious.
Oh, was I supposed to tell that?
You didn't have to.
Remember Ernest Hemingway himself, 3 to 5 slowly. So oh well.
Oh
You'll-
my, you can feel that though.
Oh yes, you can.
Yeah.
You certainly
That's,
can.
you gotta get a shot of that.
Yeah, that's
That's hilarious.
that's
Good
punchy.
thing you're already at
Yes.
What's that?
Good thing you're already at work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You don't have to be worried.
A good thing I'm already at work where I can drink
Yeah, of course, naturally.
as much as I want and be drunk.
Well, I mean, if the boss sees you.
I know. You gotta worry about that.
Okay, I'm gonna start the preparation of this one so that we can talk while it goes. It's
Okay.
gonna take a while.
Sounds good.
This is a kind of traditional way to make absinthe. It uses this absinthe spoon that's kind of fancy and fun looking. And what you do is you put once again basically a shot of absinthe in. You put the absinthe spoon on top. You take a sugar cube. And you set it on top of the absinthe spoon. And then usually you would set it under what's called an absinthe fountain, but those are expensive, so I had to make my own.
Oh, okay.
And
So this is your fountain.
this is my very fancy absinthe fountain.
Oh, this is gonna be messy.
You want someone to squeeze
This
it?
is going to be mildly messy, but I've rigged it up so that it shouldn't be too messy.
Let me.
Hold on. We gotta poke a hole in the bottom first.
For sure.
Ah, physics.
But I feel like you want someone to.
So it's supposed to drip pretty fucking slow. So don't worry. Pretty sweet.
That seems like a good flow.
Yeah, it's nice. It's actually might work really well.
Yeah, it looks actually like very.
Oh my god, this is great. Okay, so this is cold water for everyone who's gonna imitate this at home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's melting it right away.
Oh, it's so great.
You can see that. Yeah, you can see it on
Watery
camera.
in it a little bit.
Nice. All right, we'll let it go for a while. We're gonna have to do about half of this bottle, so it'll drip nice and slowly.
I mean, that looks like the rate it's going, so that's great.
I'm just gonna use this bottle every time too. Since the whole
So what is this? What is the objective here?
So, as I said before, this is a pretty high-proof spirit, and it is frequently, when it's drunk, diluted with various things. For example, we just had it, quote, diluted with the champagne.
Right.
But the traditional way is to dilute it with water in a 5-to-1 ratio, which is what I'm going for,
Yeah.
and then with a little bit of sugar to sweeten.
Was this the first mimosa, basically? No.
This is a very impressive mimosa.
Yeah. Instead of champagne and fruit juice, it's absinthe and champagne.
Good lord. Okay, so now it's story time about absinthe.
Okay.
Okay, so
When do the hallucinations start?
immediately. No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. So
This is all Benny
This
Woods.
might disappoint many people, including Itai. It's going to disappoint Itai. But so I'll first start with like a little bit of background. So absinthe is a spirit that's made of a lot of like herbs and botanicals and aniseed and wormwood. This wormwood has a chemical that's called tujone, Thujone. I'll explain that later. That's the thing that was blamed for the hallucinations that absinthe causes. But we'll get there. Absinthe was basically
More
invented
of that.
in Switzerland in like the late 1700s or something, and then it reached massive popularity in France in what's called the Belle Époque, which is like at the end of the 1800s and just before World War I. This is a time of a huge explosion in the art world, including the Impressionists and writers like Ernest Hemingway. And what they would do is they would hang out in, I think what were called coffee shops at the time, but they were basically just,
Absinthe
liquor,
places, right?
liquor joints.
Yeah.
And they loved absinthe.
Yeah.
These artists, they drank absinthe all the time.
Let's not just call them artists. There are also mathematicians that were doing this
That's
as
true.
well.
That's
Yeah.
100% true.
So
Intellectually,
one of the things one of the things that I read that was Picasso was a fan of absinthe.
it doesn't surprise me
Pablo
at all.
Picasso. So
Good stuff. Yeah, lots of artists in this.
I just miss the time when mathematicians and other intellectuals can't all get drunk together and like do math and stuff. You know, that's like the dream.
That
It's
is
just
the
like
dream.
everyone just goes to a bar in like the middle of the afternoon
and does
just
math.
starts drinking and
Has
thinking
a death in the afternoon.
a death in the afternoon. You know, it's great.
Complicated arithmetic
yeah,
and
even,
algorithms.
Like the writers and the artists would like talk about writing and art. You know, a lot
There was
of
like a lot of
things-
good exchange of ideas in these
Yeah.
bars. So
Yeah.
I feel like the working together while drinking and you know having ideas flow was a great thing that just ended,
Yeah.
and it was we lost a lot.
Yeah.
We've lost that's interesting. I mean, we have lost a lot of the art of communication in bars, by and large, because those bars tend to have to reach a certain profit point, right? So
Yeah,
we can't.
they have to stay really loud and you know offer a certain vibe that people associate with what a bar is now.
Right.
Oh, anyways, you're talking about
Oh yeah, I need to quash these myths.
yeah.
Okay.
Quash
So
myths.
that's the scene that's being set. Explosion of art and intellectuals. They love their absinthe. It's super popular in this Belle Époque, as it's called. Now there was also a really big wine industry in France that was feeling pressured by the competition with absinthe, and so they literally created a media disinformation campaign about absinthe.
Interesting.
All the like.
Does
health
that really
crazes-
happen?
Yeah. All the health crazes about absinthe are basically due to the wine industry trying to squash their competition.
I wonder if other industries do that.
So yeah, that chemical, basically like the tobacco industry did. They commissioned some hack scientists to
Yeah.
like look into certain things that are in absinthe, and what their scientists came up with is that the tujon that I mentioned earlier, the wormwood chemical, that can have neurological effects. If I stop the story there, then you're like, oh, look, see, it does have crazy neurological effects. No, in ridiculous doses. That is what it takes for this to have like neurological effects. And the amount of absinthe you would have to consume this chemical in the amounts necessary to have neurological complications, you'd be dead of alcohol.
Right.
So it's like totally a non-issue.
Yep.
It's no different from any other beer. But this shit got it banned in the U.S. for almost 100 years. From 1912, I can't remember, 1912 or 1914 until 2007. 2007 is when they unbanned absinthe in the U.S. and that's why we're able to sit here and have the absinthe that we're having now.
Yeah.
Oh, and there may be.
I don't think I got any. Just kidding.
Yeah, you
So
got it.
I think this is about ready.
No, we got,
Really?
The ratio is 5 to 1.
That doesn't look like 5 to 1.
No, so I know for a fact that 5 to 1 is about half.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I mean. So, like I said, it takes a while. It might even be the case with the amount that I put that we should have 2 tubes, but I'll be nice to you because I know you are sensitive to sweet. So we're only putting 1 sugar.
Oh, nice. I'm sensitive to sweet drinks. I like sweet food. Like I made like a full
Sensitive.
plate of brownies.
But he loves cranberries and vodka.
Yeah, because
I
exactly.
do love cranberry vodka.
Also,
Cranberries and
pure sugar
vodka.
cubes for some reason.
Well, it's because it's the drinks. It's different.
Yeah.
You're
No
you're a
hallucination.
complex paradox.
It is. It's a complex. It's a complex.
He's
vibe.
an enigma.
I am.
You're an enigma.
You know, at my core.
So how much time are we looking at for this thing?
So we're about a third of the way through, approximately.
All right.
And Itai, if you want to give it a squeeze every so often to get a little more water out, that's
Wanna get
fine.
some
That can
squeezes?
speed it up a little bit.
It's not going to speed it up. I realize it's never going to speed up because the
Well,
pressure
if you
differential.
put your finger
Yeah.
over the tiny holes, there's only 2 tiny holes.
Right here.
Don't press too hard there because you'll break that right.
I mean, I could just.
Yeah, I mean it's working. You can.
So you made this just for this?
Yeah, actually, so the 2 kind of rigs with wood on them right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm a math PhD student. Actually, we're both math PhD students. And when the pandemic hit, we switched our teaching online. And my PhD advisor actually made me and my wife these things so that we could put our iPhones on top and stream our teaching.
Oh,
to
okay.
students. Like we would write on a piece of paper.
Yeah,
on a
like kind of like an overhead projector type of
kind
deal.
of like an overhead
Yeah.
projector, exactly. So I have kept these essentially for the nostalgia's sake, and here they are. They're now my. They're
Got
now my
another
absinthe
use for them.
fountain.
You've recycled them, repurposed them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. Wait.
So you're talking about how the amount of this that you have to drink that would that you have to get hot to get to trip.
Toxic levels of tujon. Actually, the disappointing thing is you wouldn't even trip with this stuff. You would like have seizures and shit. It wouldn't even lead to seizures, unfortunately. It's just entirely.
So not very fun.
Oh, I think there are 2 reasons that this myth entered the popular conscious as well as the disinformation campaign. So this same like intellectual crowd, they would do other drugs while they were drinking, and I think it was sometimes associated like the hallucinations
Right.
from other drugs were
Right.
associated to the absinthe.
So they're crossfade, you know.
Yeah, and they're like not
They're
sure
like,
exactly which
yeah.
one did which or whatever.
That makes
So
sense.
yeah, the absinthe was associated with the intellectual artist crowd, and like they tripped the balls regularly. So they were like, oh, look,
Did they have mushrooms back then?
not mushrooms. I don't know the history of well, they have to have actually. Mushrooms have been with humans for
Well,
like
mushrooms are
thousands of
food.
years.
Yes, but
No, like hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Well, in different cultures,
Yeah.
not necessarily everywhere.
Yeah,
else,
that's true, that's right.
you know?
They've definitely fallen out of popularity in some cultures and
For sure.
mainstay in other cultures.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That
you
is a
know,
great
they probably
topic.
might have not hallucinated, but they could have done like opiates and all the other crazy shit.
Oh, it was opiates. For sure, it was opiates.
Yeah, they
Now,
did a lot of
yeah.
opiates back
For
then.
sure, it was opiates. Yeah. Okay, of course.
But I wanted to mention
At what point did they did those opiate dens like start becoming popular?
I don't know when they started. I think they like for a long time.
around we started those in China. Like
Yeah.
the opium wars were about how Britain basically got China addicted to opiates,
Right.
so it could like just extend its influence to all of China, and that was like what was that, like 1400s?
Yeah, I was trying to remember exactly the date, but
It was, I don't know,
hundreds of years ago.
hundreds of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that was already their opium like big in England at that time, right? Because if you imagine moving it to China and starting the opium epidemic there, you probably already have to have a very real understanding of opium back home. So yeah, opium as a thing has existed for a long, long time. I mean, poppy seeds.
Well, you can understand why China is so culturally sensitive to the introduction of foreign substances. I mean, like to drugs. You know, like they're you know, it's like a major punishment there. You know, it's not a slap on the wrist. They kill you.
Well, I
They
mean,
kill drug dealers.
It's because I wouldn't.
There are lots of reasons for that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tie it all into the opium den era. I would tie it more into like China being China, you know?
Their brand authoritarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's typically a lot more underlining a lot of those decisions to make such a point of something, like, you know, talking about the making drugs such an extreme offense. Yeah, what happened there?
I guess it reacted with a leftover absinthe down here, and
Ah,
I have no play in this.
so it's my fault. I left
Obviously
some
your
in
fault,
there.
not mine.
Yeah,
Thank you
clearly.
for fall, sir.
Anyways, I wanted to mention a thing.
This is good champagne, so I wanted to tell you a little more to have alone.
You know how
Salute.
what's it called? This is like a Jewish wine, right?
Yeah.
So it's 5% alcohol.
Really?
This is the white Jewish girl wine. And I've heard a lot of my friends who drink a lot of alcohol complain about the fact that like they would die of too much liquid in their body before they get drunk off
That's
this.
how I feel about beer.
Right? This is the joke that I wanted to say after you said that people would die of alcohol poisoning before they got
Yeah,
high.
okay. Fair enough.
That you would probably die of like too much water in your body before
Die
you
of
were
that,
actually
yeah.
to get drunk off this Moscato.
Overhydration.
Yeah.
That's fun to tell. So you want to give it one more squeeze?
What was your choice, or why was absent your choice this week? Like what stood out about this spirit that you wanted to go to such lengths to demonstrate it? I mean, this is a lot of work you put in, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's because people have heard the term, but they don't know much about it.
Yeah.
And also, there are these myths about it that I wanted to
Yeah.
discuss with you. Spread the good news.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, ahead of this segment, I did do a little bit of reading on the internet to learn just a little bit of stuff.
You found the
But
artists and stuff who like
but I wouldn't have probably done that just out of
Yeah, these
general
are good?
curiosity. So this has been helpful.
Okay, so I'm gonna lift this.
Alrighty-doo-dah. So the handy thing about the absinthe spoon is it holds the sugar cube, and then you tip it and finish any stirring with the sugar that might need to happen.
I don't know what to do about this.
Probably just
Oh,
toss
that's
it
why
in
I
the
have
wastebasket.
That's why I have this. Pour the rest of the water in there. I am genius. So far.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right. Psh, psh.
Alright, sweet. And drink your basic white girl wine. I can give you the rest.
Oh my god, it's the most basicest white girl wine. We'd have Catalina wine nights, and all the girls would drink this, and they would like not get any drunk because it's just. Oh.
Alright.
Salute.
It has been a while since I've had the traditional preparation, so I'm excited. Very, very smooth.
Yeah, I like it. I've liked all three of these.
That's good. It needs a little. I was right. It needs a little bit more of the sugar, but once again, I want to be
Interesting.
accommodating of E-Type. I miss sugar sensitivity.
It's funny
E-tie.
'cause this is the sweetest thing in the freaking world.
Yeah.
It's just soda. This is just soda.
I have a fun personal story about absinthe too. So my dad's Greek, and the drinking age in Europe is 18, right?
Yeah.
And let me see. Yeah. So when I turned 18, it was 2013. So a few years after absinthe had been legalized in the U.S., but there was still kind of a, oh, that's a legal idea about absinthe
Sure,
in the
yeah.
air in the U.S. And when I turned 18, my family and I were going to visit my Greek family, and we flew through the Rome airport. And I was like, holy shit, I can buy alcohol here right now. Dad, can I buy some alcohol? And this particular brand of absinthe was the first bottle of alcohol that I purchased legally in
Interesting.
the Rome airport.
Nice.
It's the first bottle I've purchased legally. I know a lot that I purchased illegally, but I cannot remember when I purchased legally.
How do we define legal purchase versus illegal purchase? I mean, like I bought alcohol as a minor. They allowed me to buy it. So, I mean, I wasn't stealing it. But
I
was
think
I
in that
purchasing it illegally?
Yeah.
Is it that case? I think in that case, both you and the person who sold it to you were committing a crime.
Committing a crime. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that
Admitting on the internet.
that occurred many times. That occurred many times in
Very well past
my neighborhood. My neighborhood was such that, I mean, you know, as a kid, you could walk in. If you had the money, they were going to sell it to you.
Yes.
All you do is tell them like you were taking it to your mom or dad too.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, that's how old I am, and that's
What we did is
yeah. They don't do that. They don't do that anymore.
we would ask people to buy it for us. We would like ask people to go into the store and buy alcohol for us. And it was like beer. And oh man, I remember thinking I was so drunk the first time I drank a single beer. And I was like such a freaking idiot.
Classic.
It was like one beer. It was like a Bud Light.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh.
That's amazing that you could even remember being able to successfully drink your first beer. Like the first time I tried beer, I
What is
mean,
this piss?
I was really young. I mean, it was really young. I was probably, I was like 11 years old or something. So like, but you know, we ran off. A friend and I ran off with the beer and went somewhere to drink it, and neither one of us liked the taste of it. So it just got chucked, you know. And it was many years later before I ever tried beer. I was quite good at drinking hard alcohol, but not consuming beer. You know, it wasn't until I got into the Navy that I was able to like drink that like water and, you know, enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like alcohol is somewhat of an acquired taste, and one gets a lot of social associations with it that makes you enjoy it more.
Yeah. Well, as a young kid, I would drink Crown Royal.
Classic.
And it worked for me in twofold. One, I enjoyed drinking it straight, and so I always made sure to have some of it. And I'd go to parties, different places, and quite often people would be like, I could bring some of it with me, and people would be like, "Woo, great, he brought it," you know. But then like nobody would really drink it, you know, like they wanted to drink something else. But you know, so I got to drink as much of it as I wanted, you know, like I brought it. It was
Sure, yeah.
basically bringing the drink for myself.
Yeah, that's plenty whiskey. I would do the same thing with like nice stuff in college. Like I would buy nice alcohol. Be like, oh, I brought it, and I bought it because I wanted it. And
Yeah.
My friends were like,
Right.
that palate, it's
That
too
works
bitter,
pretty
oh,
good.
that's too whatever. And I go,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah.
So I was the piece of shit in the situation.
You got the box wine.
I was the one who brought
The cheapest wine, the
Keystone
cheapest.
Light. Oh man, if you guys remember Keystone Light, is the
Of
beer
course, yeah.
from upstate New York. Or the whole
I lived in the Northeast.
the whole Northeast.
Well, I definitely bought my share of Zimas and you know, which is the equivalent of, like back then is the equivalent of White Claws nowadays, you know.
So Keystone Light was the
But they weren't
equivalent
for
of
me.
White
Like
Claw.
it wasn't about me drinking. I was like, gonna get these for the party.
Is it like
I
Miller
would-
Lite or something?
Yeah, it was like Miller Lite. It's the local brand of cheaper than Bud Light. Bud Light.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was delicious and it was great. And I have no qualms about drinking the shitty things.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that I can tell you is that, you know, the more you've had to drink, the easier it is to drink anything.
That's true. That's why you serve the nice one
Yeah,
first.
that's right. That's right. And it's interesting. A lot of times, you know, bars and bartenders are notorious for this. That they start you out with the fancy stuff, and then they start switching it to the cheaper stuff because you don't know the
They
difference.
water it down, or they
Yeah.
give you
Yeah.
stuff that's gone bad. You know, it's classic.
Yep, exactly. Hey, that's been another episode of Thirsty Thursday, and hope you enjoyed checking that out, hearing about Absinthe, and I enjoyed it. That's a drink I could easily see ordering again, and now I have some options on how I'd order it, so that's pretty cool. Next week we'll expand my palate again, and I'm not sure what he has in mind yet. But you'll be surprised, maybe. I'll be surprised. And just check us out next week here at youtube.com/Dave Depew. And these segments are Thirsty Thursdays. So check it out. Thanks a lot. Find that off button right over here. Yeah, there we go.